Hello there, garden fans. We're starting in a different place today, just to keep it lively. So I was just sitting there in the bouncy chair. I'd love to show you how it bounces, but it wouldn't make a good video. Drinking my mineral water in the glass bottle. Something very satisfying about a cold drink in a glass bottle. Writing in my garden journal. And I thought about cleaning up a little bit before I started the video, and then I said, no, it should be cinéma vérité. So that's why there's a hose hanging across the table. I could have put it away, but no. It was there. It's just going to be there. So this is the patio where we're starting, and it is next to the screen porch, which is all set up for someone to sit there, and yet I never get around to sitting there, but I should sit there. And these are a couple of rocking chairs from our cabin, which I really like. All right, so let us start from the patio. So adjacent to the patio is one of the growing beds. It's a raised bed. It has a couple of basil plants, one of which looks really dead. It's got a rosemary, a couple of edible marigolds, and mustard. I love mustard greens, but they just bolted immediately this year, so I never really got any greens because they went to flower right away. But there is a chicory plant. Looks like a weed. It's a relative of a dandelion. It's right here. Oh, I see. I'm making a big fat shadow. Anyway, chicory has these wonderful blue flowers late in the summer. And you can eat the chicory leaves. This bag that I'm tripping over is full of straw from last year's ornamental grass plants. And I use the straw here as mulch. People don't understand the word mulch. They think mulch means compost. It does not. And it's because of the word itself, like mulch. But actually, mulch is the material you put down to prevent weeds and also hold moisture in the soil. So, for instance, if you look at this growing bed where the snapdragons are, the mulch is cocoa shells, which I treated myself to one bag. They're very expensive, but they actually do smell like chocolate, and they're very pretty. And these snapdragons actually overwintered. I've got a few that I put in new, but the ones that are blooming came back from last year. And we have a Stokes aster, which is blooming recently. And something called salpiglossus is this purple thing. A really nice purple petunia that I love with it. And some huge ferns. And we've got bleeding heart. Okay, so there are a bunch of parallel growing beds. They're raised beds. Here's more edible marigolds and regular marigolds, which just don't seem to be doing a whole lot. A cherry tomato plant. Some cilantro that has bolted. But I think I see some native pollinators enjoying it. More basil. Now, the third, I don't know, is it the fourth bed? Anyway, this bed has a huge oregano. Oregano's perennial. And it smells so good. It just smells like pizza. Like it really just makes you want pizza. Anyway, and this is tarragon. Makes me think of Stephanie and her tarragon chicken. And lemon verbena. That one overwintered, surprisingly. A little more Stokes aster. And rose campion is now in bloom, along with a mallow that self-sows, and some sedum that I don't especially remember buying, but I must have. Anyway, it's got lots of yellow flowers. Oh, look at the thyme. This area is called the thyme zone, and evidently thyme is in bloom, and the bees are going crazy for it. In fact, I think you can sometimes buy thyme honey. So, wow, that's pretty cool. This area actually, in a previous video, was described as the hexscape. It wasn't quite as bad as the hellscape. But I did go in here and kind of improve it. I can do a little more. But, yeah, I didn't let it daunt me. I approached it. And let's go down to the patio. So I cleaned up this pathway. And I did weed the patio. Last time, I believe I said it needed weeding. And we had a nice windy day. It was perfect. And I used it to work in the shade where sometimes it can be buggy. And weeded the patio. And now there are tons of tiny little seedlings right back in the place that I weeded. But that's all right. That's pretty much what nature does, Nina. And there's my bridge. I like my bridge, even though it kind of doesn't go anywhere. But Congress funds bridge to nowhere, so why not me? This is Solomon's seal here. And, oh, my Japanese asters are hiding. They are on my list to get moved so they are more visible. This grass is called northern sea oat, which is native to the continent. But it really takes over. And if you don't get it out when it's young, it's really hard to get out. But I have a new tool called the Root Assassin, and it probably can get northern sea oat out. Aha! We have a blooming gooseneck loosestrife. This is an invasive, it's on the list of invasive plants. So I probably should get rid of it. All right, that will stop video section 1.